Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Teresa Kaufman at the Woo Report, part storyteller, part energy tracker, and part chatty grandma. So stick around and we'll get through this energy as well as we can. It's really pressurized and people are just going through it. So let's see what the cards say. Now, again, this is for guidance from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So what I'll do is give this guidance. I think I'm going to throw it up online really quickly, and then I'm going to update. I might delete it when I get the new one out, but just so people have this in advance. I could possibly put it out a little bit earlier, but I want to make sure I do the draw on the day, not in advance, like tomorrow to do it today. I can get 10 days ahead. Just do all the tarot readings at once. So I'd rather do it with the energy, with the intuitive feelings that I have, working with the energies of today. So that might be a problem for me, getting things done, all that. But I'm going to work on it. This is my 14th day. Yay, me. So I'm new to doing this. I did get a studio switched around. I hope to get a new camera. So hopefully it all works. And today we start off with the Fool. So that is our root vibration for today. So, no, do you like the Fool? It's a new beginning, I guess. So I'm going to try to track my feelings and stuff when the Fool or when these cards present themselves, especially the major arcana. So I can get a feel for, okay, when this happens, that kind of thing. And since now that I have more time, being retired and all, I can track more of the energy and more things. Astrology, the energy, the tarot. So really exciting. I did work on my dream thing, and I hope it turns out really cool because I'm going to try to have a video produced from the dream, the collective dream. So that should be interesting. Anyway, it's a lot of work. I mean, I probably couldn't even do it before AI, so. Because who can do that video stuff? Oh my goodness. There's a lot to that. I've had friends that are photographers and videographers, and the videographers spend so much time editing, and they do have shortcuts and stuff, but there's a lot of time in doing all of this. So with the Fool, this represents fresh starts, innocence, and the leap into the unknown. It's a clean slate energy, which that's kind of what we need. I would like a clean slate, but the only way we can get a real clean slate, and that's not really clean. If you believe in, reincarnation, you would have past influences coming into your life, and some of that stuff makes sense to me because that, a personality, where does it get all? Some of it's genetic, some of it's from past experiences, I believe, with past lives. So that's really interesting topic of past lives. But it's a clean slate energy, though not without risk. This resonates with the monthly gift, the Page of Pentacles. I don't have my monthly here on the screen, but I did a monthly, and that the monthly gift was the Page of Pentacles, beginner energy, curiosity, and the willingness to learn. So I do believe the collective is at a point where they're willing to go forward and learn new things and new ways of being. And I know the AI is kind of scary for a lot of people, but it will create a new way of being. And if we go forward as the collective, we have to make sure our systems are in place, that leaders are real people from our communities, and they're the best from our communities. The whole system's been hijacked, I believe, from the 17th Amendment, where the senators are, I get 13th and the 17th messed up, but where the senators are also elected, and that shouldn't be. We have the House of Representatives, that's the people's house, and the other house is supposed to be appointed by our state legislatures, who we put in, because we have more control over what they do, because we can go to our state capital and, protest and get some kind of action. But now there's less and less action because it's become centralized, kind of like the plan. of the power brokers to keep power. But anyway, so we need to go forward with AI, and for this to work to our benefit, we need to control our monetary system. We need to get back that to a constitutional place, and we need to, get our representatives under control, the system, to who gets there and who stays there, all that kind of thing. And then rules on what they can do. I have some really interesting concepts, like with AI, but it's going to be used against them, not us. So, there's a thing in the Bible where they wear an ephod, the priests, and had all these stones in it. And if they went into the temple and they lied, they were killed, they died. And you can see it with technology, that could really happen. We could have them wearing things, and if AI detects, you could say, okay, they have to lie like 3 times, or 3 strikes they're out, and then maybe not kill them, but maybe they have to step down. So those are some things that, if you believe in science and how to tell people are lying and other things put into place, but these things should never be used to surveil us and to control us, the people, the collective. It's to control them, because they're the ones that are really the problem, not the populace, not the collective. So anyway, so the root is the Fool, and then the current vibration, remember all my keys, the current vibration is death. So, yeah. And it's like almost like she's in love with death and destruction, not letting it go. It's hard, I know, but so overlaying that newness is death. So from the Fool, then there's death, transformations, endings, and rebirth. Together with the Fool, we see a strong cycle. One thing closes, so another can begin. This echoes the Wheel of Fortune, the weekly anchor. Life turning, chapters closing and opening. So yeah, that is the Wheel of Fortune, is the weekly anchor. I did a weekly draw with the September monthly. So, and I believe I've been doing it Monday through Sunday. So Monday is the first day of the week. Sunday is the last. And Sabado, Saturday, is the 6th day. If you really want to follow the rules, Christians, that's the church day. That would be the Sabbath. Sabado, Saturday. Okay, anyway, so that's interesting that we have rebirth and then the vibration is death. So, but I think we are desiring rebirth. Excuse me. So, and the challenge to do all is Queen of Wands. Get her in here. Ready? Okay, so the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands. The challenge card is the Queen of Wands. And the challenge lies in our confidence. Can we step into the new earth? Can we step into the new energy? Right now, it is awful mixed up because we have all these institutions that aren't working for us. They're not working in our best interests. They're not working in a sound manner, a fiscally sound manner, a mentally sound manner. We have too many institutions. They say we don't even know how many. We know they created Homeland Security. We already have the CIA and the FBI. Is that not enough? And now they create more and more. And every emergency or every thing that happens, it seems they need to set up a new control mechanism, because it is a control mechanism. These agencies to police us, and in actuality, they should be policing themselves. And now we have nobody policing or bringing to our attention their crimes and their actions, because now money owns the press. So we don't even have a free press anymore. But we have mom and pop journalists, and they're all over, and shout out to them, because without them, there'd be a lot of things that we wouldn't know, and we wouldn't know how they operate. So, we've been kind of going through revelation. Those things are being revealed to us, where we're really living, the systems we're really living under. So that's part of the revelation in the Bible. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does seem bad because, wow, I've been asleep. And then when you're awake and you see things, you will never go back to sleep. And you have to find a whole new tribe. I know somebody I listened to for many, many years, and I still do, is Adrienne Elise, and she does Planetary collective kind of astrology readings. Wonderful, wonderful readings. I really like them, and she talks about the new earth and all those things that we're really working for and we're going forward with. And with our mother, the earth, we are part of this energy and part of the earth energy, and it's really exciting to see things going forward. So the Queen of Wands, can we step into it? We have the Fool, we have a new cycle, we have transformation, we have everything we need. But can we do it with courage and authenticity? Or will self-doubt and comparison weigh us down? So I can compare myself to so many people that are better than me. Oh, especially, I don't know. You look at your first videos and you have to cringe. And these are my first videos. This is only my 14th video. And I'm trying to bring forward everything I can and doing it as hard as I can. And I'm working very hard. But you can compare yourself and say, I just quit because I'm not good enough. But there's something in every individual. And there's a reason why you want to do the things you do. And you can work hard without it seeming like work. Like this right now, it seems like work just with the tech things, working with OBS, working with the microphone that works sometimes, or things like that. And these tech issues, it's easier to work through them when I feel passionate about what I'm doing, the material, and it makes me feel more grounded. And I do have, well, when I was in church, they called them church gifts. But you could use the same term for church as collective. It's us as a body. We're a body moving. And the Western culture is a body moving. So no matter what you say about it and you don't like it, I don't want to be in it, you are that. So that's kind of like our shadow self too that we have to deal with. And there's been an utter rejection in some sectors of Western culture, and especially Western culture because it's had a strong male energy of patriarchy and things like that. And it's not their fault. Like anything that we're living through right now, it's like it's not our fault that our forefathers had slaves and all those things. However, and you have to look at there was nothing good about slavery necessarily, but it did. I don't think the American people were as cruel to slaves as in other parts of the continent, North America. So, so the Mayans and those descendants of the Mayans, very cruel, like just working them to death, not even looking at them like valuable property. In America, they were looked at like valuable property. And the smarter people even taught their slaves, it was almost like a form of AI. They could work better and smarter than other plantations that didn't teach their slaves how to read. So if the plantation owner taught their slaves to read, and you can almost look at the plantation as a microcosm. We're still living on that plantation. We still have our rulers. We still have the kings making the rules. And we, as serfs, work in their stores and their businesses. So until that can kind of stop, there is a movement in Russia. Anastasia, it's a thing where everybody gets 5 acres of land and we all have to farm and then we share. It's kind of an interesting, it's based around divine masculine and feminine principles. So that's really interesting. So the Queen of Wands, do we have the confidence? Or will self-doubt and comparison weigh us down? I hope not. I hope we can go forward. And then we have the outlook is the Five of Swords. I hate swords. So painful. Five of Swords warns of potential conflict, ego battles, or hollow victories. You may have won, but you have a marriage, your family's in tatters, all those things. The outlook asks, will you try to win at all costs? Or can you walk away from struggles that aren't aligned with your growth? This card ties back to the monthly challenge, Nine of Swords, the stress of overthinking and pushing against shadows. So that is really interesting. Are those snakes? Octopus? In our hands. It's a really cool card. So the Five of Swords, the outlook. So, will you try to win at all costs? And that, okay, to the collective, the Western collective. I'd seen a story today. I don't usually like to go and watch news stories and stuff, especially before I do this, but it does give me an insight into the collective. So there's a story out today that it is like the 7th person killed who's running in a party in Germany. And I'm like, what? 7? I know one of them was fairly old and already known bad health. But the other ones were quite young, in the early 50s. So, what are the odds? I don't know. I'm not a statistician, whatever they called, doing the odds and things. But that seems crazy. But will they go to that? Will the people, because they're losing power, just like in America, they don't want the conservatives. I'm not a conservative or, a progressive. I'm a constitutionalist, minimalist, practicalist. I want things to freaking work at the least amount of money, less cost, what's best for us, kind of thing. So will the power brokers kill? Have they killed for their own, to keep their own power? And that's really scary to me. And that's, maybe what we're going to be up against. And I don't want things to turn like that. I don't want to, any kind of a civil war or anything like that. But that's what it'll come down to if people don't follow rules. So the rules in place, and we must all work to make them fair and not any kind of double standard. The law is the law. Right now, we don't really have people's courts anymore. It's all administrative, all run by judges. We don't have any common law really anymore where you can, have your grievances heard by a jury of your peers. Don't have that anymore, only for criminal things, but not for, they don't consider the banking stuff criminal kind of thing. It's like, okay, corporations get out of a lot, especially banks, because they own the states, really, with this corporatization of all our counties. Yeah, it's a long story, but chatty grandma again. Okay. So with the Five of Swords, we overthink and we're pushing against shadows. I mean, just overthinking about how the government works. I've always thought about it, and, I think a lot, and that's part of my, my personality. So even though I don't do anything about it, I want to think about it. I want to work it out in my mind, like, how could this be better, kind of thing. And the personality, 16 personalities or something like that, it's called. It's really fun. So if you take it, let me know what personality you come out to be. I'm not really happy about mine. Oh, watch. I'm me. Okay, so I'm thinking about other things besides the work I'm supposed to be doing for the man. Okay, and that has problems in and of itself. So the hidden card, we don't know about what's going on. It's the Hierophant, and hidden beneath all that is the Hierophant. Beneath all the death and the Fool, and this is urging us to ground in tradition, wisdom, and spiritual practice. This anchors the collective and shared values, and a reminder that we're not navigating transformation alone. It's connected to the monthly theme, Eight of Pentacles, learning, apprenticeship, and devotion to the path. So in the monthly theme, that was the Eight of Pentacles. So in my monthly draw, so I know a lot of people don't want tradition, but then they want to like change so much so quickly that it's not sustainable and it doesn't make any sense. So I do want to get rid of some of the things, but keep the tradition of the Constitution. And we could almost do away with a lot of the amendments, especially the ones meant for bankers and to control senators and to control that makeup of that body of our House of Representatives and the Senate. So that is some of the hidden things underneath. And you see more and more people wanting those, wanting that. It's almost like belonging. We're losing our belonging. And we need those things. We can't live healthy lives without it. So who knows what's causing all the sickness and the chronic illness? It could be the food, but it could be just no belonging and propaganda that makes people hate themselves, especially males, white males. And if you had a son that grew up in these times, it's like really tough for the young men of today. I really feel for them. It was like open warfare on their archetype. And some people, so I believe that some of the trans movement, just a total rejection of the male, the divine masculine as a role in society, because they deem it as, patriarchy and controllers and bad, but that's not the case. Okay, so then we have the clarifiers. Clarifiers were the Seven of Wands, the Crow, and the Four of Swords, and from the Tattoo Tarot. So the Seven of Wands adds a note of standing firm and protecting your truth. And, you can see that in a lot of the collective going on today in the Western collective, with Britain's just trying to, can you imagine, trying to fly the flag of England and you're in trouble and you can go to jail? That is just insane, that, like saying the American flag. Now with the American flag, I believe that, I don't think you get in any trouble for it. I'm not going to burn it, but I will fly it upside down. And flying it upside down just means that you're not in control of the government. And we haven't been for a while. And I don't know if we can get back control. I hope we can. But it needs to be trimmed down because we can't control this monster. Just like the government said they couldn't control, like Bank of America. There's just too much spawn and they just can't, they don't know what they own. We have to change that because this is not sustainable. They just, like gobble, gobble, gobble. And they're the problems for pollution, for waste. Just keep power, it takes a lot of waste to maintain that control. So with those clarifiers, and if we look to yesterday's Nine of Swords and the Two of Swords, it showed us that the collective is worried and indecisive. The world outlook offered closure, but conflict. Yeah, so it's the first one on my right. Here under the reading, that it was yesterday's. So the world in outlook offered closure, but conflict, the Five of Wands, simmered beneath. So today the Fool plus Death confirm those old struggles are ending and a new cycle beginning. So I hope so. But the challenge is the Queen of Wands, is whether we'll claim our authentic power. If we'll claim our authentic power. Yesterday's conflict, Five of Wands, has matured into today's Five of Swords. We're more aware now of the cost of ego's battles and those political things that aren't going to get us anywhere except civil war. Anyway, the Hierophant and the Four of Swords set in as guides, urging grounding, faith, and rest. So right now, that some of the flow is to maintain what we have gained, and to rest. So hopefully the energies are going to be with that. So I'm going to go see right now about the energies that's happening right now, and I will be back soon. Okay, hopefully I can get this done before 12. So I'm going to have to like really work on cutting this down to get it out quickly. I'm not that kind of person. I like more detail and things in depth. So this has really been challenging for me. But let's just go over the energy real quick. So collective energy, the Schumann Resonance validates yesterday's guidance. So this is yesterday's guidance. So this is energy we've already lived. When anybody's showing you the chart that we have, it's from 10 to 10 a.m. So it's 10 a.m. yesterday to 10 a.m. today. Let me get my chart window going so you can see my... There we go. So this here was 10 a.m. yesterday, and then we're to 10 a.m. today. So this energy already lived, and my guidance yesterday was here, right here in the right, down below this chart. I don't have it in a window, so OBS isn't going to let me show my cursor. Anyway, so it validates yesterday guidance. After a quiet day, the field erupted around 9:30, spiking to power 55, the strongest in the last 24 hours for nearly 7 hours. Frequencies fluctuated in the 30 to 40 range before easing after 4 a.m. So we can see that at the 55, the power under here, 55, and that big long spike, it's like a rainbow spike. Very, very big. It seems to me that this is like, boom, it just went right into that. I particularly don't necessarily like that energy. It feels more chaotic, not as clean as when there's not, when it eases into the energy, flow, more of a flow. This had no flow. We're just thrown into this energy. And most of the morning, it was good. But when we wake up, we see the little grumblies. But for the most part, that's been a pattern the last 3 days. Very mellow in the morning, and then it gets going, and it's more at night. So that's how it's been, more than night. And that kind of goes along with the clarifying card yesterday, like at the moon. So things are happening at night. The energy's happening at night. Sorry, I'm looking at my cards. So with that, so the turbulence mapped into yesterday's spread. So here's my guidance. You have the Nine of Swords, restless energy, sleeplessness, anxious mind. You have the Two of Swords, tension between choices and mental stalemate. The Three of Wands, we had a challenge, hard to see, long view, in the middle of chaos. Five of Wands, hidden, conflict and friction bubbling beneath the surface. And the Moon, that was the clarifying card, subconscious, fog, illusions, and vivid dreaming. The Empress, tattoo, the fertile ground, hidden with turbulence. The world, cycles moving towards closure, even amidst disruption. The energy we lived overnight mirrored exactly what the cards revealed. Conflict rising, dreams intensifying, but a deeper current pointing towards resolution. And then today, my guidance was on this one right here. This card was the energy of September. So this was the card representing the energy we're going to have in September, which was the Knight of Swords, which is pretty, it's going to change. We're in for a bumpy ride. So let's see, I did have a little more on that, but I think I deleted it. I was trying to edit everything and get it down more concisely. So yeah, the guidance, forward guidance with today's cards. Recap on today's card. Last night. Can't do anything about last night, can we? Okay. So this is the guidance card, just a recap that I went over earlier. So these are for today and through the morning hours. So from 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. tomorrow, this is going to be the guidance. So we have the Fool, thresholds, ending and beginnings interwoven, the cycle turns. Queen of Wands, a challenge, embodying the true confidence, not reacting from ego. Five of Swords, outlook, choosing wisely which battles are worth fighting. The Hierophant, hidden, grounding in wisdom, image, lineage, and spiritual practice. And, that's our common practices, spiritual, cultural, all that. Seven of Wands, plus Four of Swords are clarifiers. Hold your ground, but balance with rest and integration. So the resonance shook the field last night. Today's cards show us how to walk through what it stirred, rest and grounding in higher truth. Because that was a lot to take in while we were sleeping. While you were sleeping, bam! So, but it wakes me up. I'm quite restless and tired when this energy happens. So, I don't know. I may need a nap. I've been trying to live without one, and I've been doing okay. So that's good. So there's also some astrology things happening. We have Saturn in retrograde coming. Oh no, it's in Pisces right now, and it pulls us back through karmic waters and through so heavy, it prepares the way for a great water trine later this season, harmonizing difficult lessons into collective healing. And Venus is in Leo. It just moved through opposition with Pluto, asking what blocks visionary feminine leadership from stepping forward. I've noticed that too, and it's like there's just so many changes that need to be done for the feminine. It changes to Social Security, so there's shared credits that women can have, because we get into poverty because if we stayed home with the kids, our husband's going to have a lot more, and if we divorce our husband, we don't get that when he dies. So we need to keep our credits shared credits. Okay, so anyway, and there's not women stepping into that. It's more political circus and shows than it is actually working towards what needs to get done, and helping families and women be strong and flourish. So we have Uranus in Gemini, trine Pluto in Aquarius, stations retrograde tomorrow. That will be September 6th. So that's not tomorrow. Retrograde tomorrow, and moves back into Taurus in November, about reclaiming true wealth and restoring power to the people. That's a good thing. An eclipse season builds towards total lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 7th. We're not going to see any of that in North America. A narrow portal where we can only carry forward what is essential. These movements mirror today's tarot, the Fool plus Death as thresholds, Five of Swords as a conflict, the Hierophant as spiritual anchor. Skies and the cards both call us forward to transformation and discernment. For deeper astrology dive, see Adrienne Elisa's full weekly reading. I'll link it in my description. She's somebody I've listened to for a while, and it lines up a lot with what's happening in our world. So she's really a great resource if you like to listen to astrology. She only does a once a week free, but I find it very helpful. And I have went to her monthly meditations too, which I love. So those are great too, but they cost something. But I think it's a minimal for some of them, and then a little bit more for others. So just have to check in with her website and her YouTube page. So with that, I have the daily affirmation. I didn't make a thumbnail. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do everything I want to do in the short time that I have to get it done. So I'm going to have to limit some of the things, and that would be one of them. But I kind of liked it because it just reminded me, had a pretty thing, wasn't that bad, but I really have to prep a lot better. kudos to everybody who does this. This is really hard work. So this is only my 14th day, and it is a lot of work. But I've been enjoying it, and I'm learning a lot and learning how to organize and deal with, the chaotic energy, understand it better. So I could, before I only would do it when everything was so chaotic I can't handle it. Then something must be up, and I go look at the charts. For now, as I'm getting more subtleties and understanding how those work with my dreams and all that. So my daily affirmation today is I walk with courage into transformation. Endings become gateways and portals. Teaching and conflict becomes a teaching moment, and rest becomes renewal. I trust that every unseen current is guiding me towards my authentic wholeness. So remember, that is what you're working for, is authenticity. And I can't tell you what that is for you. I got to live my own, and yours is yours. And the more we do that, and the more our differences are, they'll be, each of us will be, our gifts will be shining. So our differences come together in the collective. The collective is the body, like the church, the collective, and we can come together and be more productive, help each other more, be more supportive, be more welcoming and open with each other and our communities, and not so fearful. So I know some of the news just gets you all feared up, but so that's a good affirmation. And okay, so that would complete this whole energy for the day. Yesterday's guidance prepared us for turbulence. Today's prepared us for turbulence, and today's guidance shows us the path through. So let's keep this wheel going, and I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, the monthly card for the month, theme of the month is the Wheel of Fortune. I love that card. We never know. Spin the wheel. Wherever it lands, nobody knows. So thanks for sharing the space with me, and I'll be here tomorrow. See you soon.